Hi guys, I'm back to tell the tale of my homeschooling adventure with you. I was listening to some homeschooling podcasts today, and one of them is by Rebecca Spooner, who wrote the curriculum Gather Around Homeschool, which is what we've been using. And I found myself getting really overwhelmed by all of the things that we can be doing as homeschool families, parents. And I just had to remind myself to take one step at a time, one day at a time. We're not going to get it all right every single day, but you know who will get it right all the time is the Lord Jesus Christ. So praise God. One of my aunts on my post yesterday where I shared that we decided to homeschool said, with God, all things are possible. And it's so true. He's going to get it right every single time. And I'm not doubting his providence and his faithfulness, even as we inch out into this journey. I think that that's something that I can personally struggle with is okay, I'm all in. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to buy all the things. I'm going to do all the morning baskets and the poetry tea time and everything. But it's just not so realistic for my life at this moment in time. I do work full-time from home, so I understand that since I am working from home, I can do things a little bit differently than parents who have to go to work. I'm part of a homeschool group where some of the posts are, hey, I have to go to work. I work full-time. How do you guys make this work? And it's really cool to see these parents give tips to each other and help each other out. And even though I do work full time, I do it from my house. So it may be a little bit different for your family. But if it is something that you feel called to, I want to encourage you to check out the link down below. I'll link to the Gather Around Homeschool group that I'm in, where people just give advice and help each other out, especially on things like practical matters like I work all the time. How do you do this? So if homeschooling is something that you're feeling convicted about, feel free to go check out that link. And hopefully it'll be helpful to you, as it has been for me. So I just wanted to give you a little rundown of how we have started doing it. It might change. I'm sure it will change, especially as I evolve as a person, as my kids evolve, as transitions happen. I'm sure it will change. And I think that that's something that I need to be okay with is this is how it's working today. It might change tomorrow, it might change next week, next month, but it is something that we're deciding as a family, and the Lord is continuing to move and transform us, and we want to be obedient and docile to where His Spirit is leading us. All that being said, let me tell you how we are doing it. First of all, I want to encourage you that if you are thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have space in my house, I don't have a homeschool room, I don't have desks, I don't have cabinet space, anything like that, I want to encourage you that you can use what you already have. I haven't bought anything besides curriculum for our homeschool adventure. Again, this is just the beginning for us, so I understand if things will change and eventually I have to buy more things if it does come to that, but right now I'm feeling really good about what we have going on. I'm going to take you to our little homeschool space and give you a little rundown of how we are making it work with the things from IKEA that we already had around our house. Let's go check it out. So this is our little area that we've been doing work. This and the stools are from IKEA. We used to have 4 stools, but who knows, they went missing. And then this is a shoe rack thing from IKEA also that we've just had around. So we haven't used this shoe rack for shoes, so we decided to put our homeschool stuff in it. We have a spot for crayons in here, and we put all the crayons just in a baggie so it wouldn't be strewn everywhere in there. But we have the same for markers and pens down there as well. And then they made their own little cubby here, and they also put their favorite Bible verse, which they were excited to do, and they kind of treat it like a locker, so they wanted to put pictures of themselves as well. So in each of them, they have their Bible, a little notebook for just general notes. If we have a story day or a journal day, and then they have their Gather Around Homeschool notebook and a clipboard if they ever need it. as well as just some other papers. Sometimes I just print things that I find online that I think they would like, so that's what's in there also. Here's Lucy's. She has all the same stuff, also a little pencil case, as well as her math book. And the girls have been doing math online, so they don't have a math book, but all the same stuff. Otherwise, same with Sienna. Has her Bible, her notebooks, some diaries also, of course, because what's a girl without her diaries? And then here's my little spot. So I have my teacher's guide and another just extra notebook and some clipboards as well. And then we keep some glue sticks and just extra scissors and a pencil sharpener in here. Then we also have just colored pencils, which we typically put on the table every time we get started, as well as a bin of pencils. And then we also have some saints here that I just think are sweet. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, who I think is the patron saint of school. I'll have to look it up. And then the girls have their saints that I got for them. So this one is St. Rose of Lima. This is St. Catherine of Siena. This is St. Therese of Lisieux. Then we also have another St. Elizabeth Ann Seton over here. Cecilia picked St. Elizabeth Ann Seton for her confirmation saint, so we just have a couple of those. That's our little setup we got going on. So that can be for you as well. If it's your kitchen table, if it's, a little table like we had from IKEA, that table is super cheap. I'll link it down below for you to see. It's like super cheap, and the stools are super cheap. I know it's not the most comfortable chairs for us to be sitting in while we're homeschooling, but again, it's what we already had at our house, so we're making it work. We're not buying anything new for it. I also just wanted to give you a little practical look on how we make it work in terms of timing right now. Again, disclaimer, right now. Mike and I both start our work days around 9 a.m. every single day. The girls are really early risers, so they wake up around 6. So they have about an hour before we really get started into homeschooling with them. So in that hour between 6 and 7, they eat breakfast. They are supposed to be doing some chores. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on how motivated they are. Brush teeth, get dressed, that sort of thing. And that doesn't happen every single morning. Some mornings it's 7 and I'm like, hey, did you eat breakfast yet? No, we didn't eat breakfast. Okay, what have you been doing for the past hour? God only knows. Literally, he's the only one that knows. So they'll get breakfast ready while we're starting on getting our homeschool books out and sitting at the table and kind of getting started from there. The particular curriculum we have, which I'll do another video on in the future, is called Gather Around Homeschool. I'll give you a little bit of a gist of it. It's a unit study curriculum, which means that you're focusing on one topic and working on multiple subjects within that one topic. So it's been really cool to just sit with them, begin reading from my teacher's guide, and if they're still eating breakfast while I'm starting to read, that's perfectly fine with me. I am not super intense about it, but we're usually starting our homeschool time between 7 and 7:15 in the morning. And then we always try to be done around 9. That's kind of my goal for myself, is the parts that we're doing with the girls, we're sitting down and doing this gather around curriculum with them or their math with them. We want to be done around 9. And that's actually been working really, really well for us so far. The other thing that's been really important to me is kind of a routine for the girls. They don't have a set routine. I've tried to do schedule our days where it's 6 to 7 we're doing this, 7 to 9 we're doing this. Okay, I kind of have that, but it's not written down. But after 9 o'clock, it's kind of a free-for-all. I don't have a schedule from 9 to 10 and 10 to 11, and 11 is it is routine oriented. As I'm talking about it, I'm like, yeah, we do actually start eating around 11:30 every day. So that is pretty typical every single day, but there's no set schedule for subjects. What's been really nice about this curriculum is that I'm getting all of their subjects done while I'm going through their gather round notebooks with them, their whole unit study curriculum. It's not like later on they have language arts from 11 to 12 or they're doing math from 12 to 1. It's all, we're trying to do a huge chunk of our homeschooling with them between 7 and 9 every single morning. Since I don't use a schedule with them, I try to do something that really adapted to how I like to do things, which I like to do things with checklists. I'm really big on having a to-do list and knowing what's clearly laid out for me every single day. So what we did is we set up little checklists for them. I saw, again, in this homeschool group that I linked down below, go check it out. It's a wealth of knowledge. And again, it's not like super intense, like you have to be doing all of these things and you're a horrible homeschool mom if you don't do all these things. It's really awesome basic stuff, which I'm super appreciative of as I'm just getting started on this journey. One of the moms in that group actually used a Trello board. Trello is an app. It's really similar to Asana with just checklists for every single day. So I love that idea so much. I personally use Asana. I love checklists. I love knowing what's clearly laid out for me every single day, but I didn't want them to have to get another app, right? Like they do have some Gmails, but I didn't want them to have to also log into Trello and like go through all of these steps. So what I did was I set them up on Google Keep, which if you don't know about Google Keep, I wasn't using it at all before a few weeks ago when I set the girls up on their homeschool stuff on Google Keep, but it's been amazing. I love it so much. Google Keep is just a little note-taking app basically, but it's connected to Gmail. So you can have your Gmail open and just open Google Keep in the sidebar. They check it off every single day. So each of them has their own email address. They go on there once they're done with what they're working on and they go and check it off and they can see what's next on their list to do, whether that be math or piano or PE fun or doing their gather round notebook, which we usually do in the morning. So that should be checked off right away. Basically all throughout the day, I'll go through and check if they've been doing their checklist. I'm like, okay, it looks like you are wanting to do a game on the computer, but let's get all of our checklists done. I can be a collaborator to their checklist. So I don't actually have to go to their computer or open up any other computer. It's just right on my phone. I open the Google Keep app right on my phone and I see, okay, Sienna, you haven't done your piano yet, so let's go do that before you get started on wanting to play Roblox on your computer, whatever game it is for your kid. It's just been so nice to be able to have on all of our devices. It's something that the girls feel a sense of responsibility about. I ask them, hey, have you done everything on your checklist today? They feel a sense of, oh, I better go check that and make sure that I'm getting through all the things. So it's not a separate Trello app or anything like that. It's all within the Google family, which I love Google. Anyway, that is how we have been doing school stuff. Just an encouragement to you is use what you have in your house. Be creative with the space that you have. It can work, especially with this amazing curriculum. You don't have to have a ton of space for school books and things like that. It's a really basic, amazing notebook system with this gather round curriculum, which I'm very appreciative of. And I've seen a lot of veteran homeschool moms that are using and switching to gather round homeschool, which I find really encouraging. I've been watching them on YouTube and again, reading about them in this Facebook group linked below. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all of the things, go check out Gather Round Homeschool. I hope this was an encouragement to you to use what you have around, use what's natural for you. I hope this has been helpful and I will see you guys next time. Bye.